Good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. It's also the start of the Euros. England, links in the video description for Italy versus Turkey. I'll be doing a watch along for that on there. But we are tonight going to be talking about Jadon Sancho forcing a move to Manchester United. David De Gea looking like he may stay at Manchester United. 3 clubs in for Varane. Potential first bid rejected again, not for Sancho but for Trippier this time. So lots and lots to get involved in the show tonight. I will read that super chat in a moment, but let me just say that as you can see in the top left hand corner, we're sponsored by Manscaped tonight. And I mean, this does sort of have connotations in relation to Manchester United's transfer strategy. You know, I think in United's garden, they're just letting the grass grow. Get out there, cut the grass, be efficient. Trim the grass to make the garden look bigger, the yard look bigger. And you can do that with the Lawnmower 3.0 from Manscaped is the best body hair trimmer on the market. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels, and you can get 20% off plus free shipping by clicking the link in the description. We've all had those close encounters when trying to make our areas below our waist look as good as they do above, and that is why Manscaped engineering team have protected the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created and just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. So now you can shave your most important possessions with no fear of injury. The Manscaped razors are super premium and boast a 90-minute battery life, waterproof technology so you can use them in the shower, and even an LED light. I've never charged this one up and I've had it loads. I've used it on loads of on streams, and I've used it in the shower a few times as well, which I like. But I wouldn't use it when it's wet, because if you've let it grow a little bit too much, it's very hard to just do it before and then wash it all away. The Manscaped razor is super easy to charge and even comes with a USB charging stand, so you can show that off when people come round if you want. And because Manscaped care about all the nuts that watch this channel, play on balls, they are given a huge 20% off plus free shipping when you click the link in the video description. Another great thing about Manscaped is whenever a purchase is made at manscaped.com, they make a contribution to the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, which is obviously very important to us men. So what are you waiting for? Head over to manscaped.com or click the link in the description to get your 20% off today. And if you click that link, it will take you straight through and give you that 20% off. You can also, if you're a little bit older like me, the nasal trimmer is fantastic as well. It really, really does stop you looking like, you know, an idiot. And they're very good products as well. So links in the video description for that. 20% off with the United Stand. Big up to Manscaped as ever. So yeah, we're going to start off with Jadon Sancho. There's quite a few updates coming in from The Athletic tonight. Also want to talk about De Gea, a little bit about Varane, Trippier, and we'll take some of your questions as well. Brad Lewis says, Mark, I know the last day or two must have been rough for you. Just wanted to say thanks for all the entertainment you bring. Respect. Brad, I'm in a very lucky position because a weed whacker, you could call it a weed whacker. I don't like that. But no, I think that, you know, I'm in a lucky position because, you know, at least I know I can go live and interact and chat with people about how I feel, and I think you've been fantastic in that sense. So I want to give a big shout out to all of you. I think the community we have is fantastic, and you know, if you watched the video this morning, that was not my intention for that to happen. I'm not that, you know, I've had a lot of people messaging me today. I don't do that. I think since I was 18, I've probably cried about 4 times in my life, and one of them happened this morning. So it caught me, you know. I'm devastated by it, absolutely devastated by it, and you know, a lot of people are. So, you know, thanks for everybody for all the nice messages. YouTube he's got over 20,000 subscribers on his channel now. All he wanted was 10,000. It was on 8 this morning, so it's fantastic. But you know, I hope that he knows that. Who would be your dream signing this summer? Says Man United all the way. Well, I'm going to do a video on that over the weekend, so check out that. But let's get into the latest news. Sancho's speed is in United's hands, says The Athletic. What that means is that this deal is in United's hand. Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic has said that there's less than £10 million between United and Dortmund's agreements now. £10 million separating them, and the speed of this deal will be dictated to by Manchester United. And that whilst Jadon Sancho has been respectful and will be respectful to Dortmund, he is pushing for this move, effectively forcing this move, transfer request, whatever. I mean, it is a transfer request. It's not a sabotage transfer request. It's not like, oh, I'm not coming to work anymore. This is, I want to go and I'm pushing this move. And I think that the gentleman's agreement, that was there last summer, but was unrealistic. No one was ever going to pay £120 million for Sancho, so he had to stay where he was. This summer, realistic price, pushing it, saying, come on, let's not mess about. I think Sancho knows that 80 million is the gentleman's agreement, and I think he's probably saying things like, let's get this sorted now. If United are close, what are you waiting for? Get the deal done. You bought me for next to nothing. You're going to make a lot of money. Get the deal done. So Burden says, are you doing watch along for Italy versus Turkey? I am. Links in the video description. Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. I'll be live at 7:30 on there. Very excited for it. I've got Italian connections, so I will be singing for Italy in that one. Very much looking forward to it. I like Italy. Mark, why does Sancho want to come to United so bad? Says Jay Ling's fan. I don't know. I don't know. Probably ego. The same ego I'd have going to United. I know he's not a United fan, but I would want to go to United. They are, I hate the cliche because I think when you're called a sleeping giant, that basic sleeping giant is short for you're doing shit, basically. But I think United are a sleeping giant, and I think that Sancho might think that I'm going to be that final piece that sends him to the next level, and that's great if you're a footballer. Mark, good to see you. It was a very nice tribute this morning. My condolences to Alex's family. He was a fighter. Is Sancho forcing the move, says Vignesh. Lovely message. And yes, I mean, this is coming from The Athletic, that he, whilst he's being respectful, he's making it very clear that he wants this move to happen, that the speed of the deal depends on United, that there's only 10 million between the two clubs now. But interestingly, what also in The Athletic, they said that this is now about clauses. This is about the clauses in the deal. I mean, part of me thinks that Santa Claus may as well be in there with United because it's fanciful. But the reality is the clauses are the issue, and they are deemed as achievable by both sides. The issue with Dortmund, according to The Athletic, is they don't want unachievable clauses in there. They don't want things like when United win the treble, they'll get an extra 5 million. Or if Sancho wins the Ballon d'Or, they'll pay 5 million. They want achievable add-ons in the deal. And they're not. And I think also of positive note that Dortmund are saying, look, I mean, I don't know the exact figure, but it sounds like they're saying in the fee, we're happy to have add-ons. So it could be 80 million that's paid in instalments, etc., and bonuses, etc. But they want it to be achievable. So they're probably going to say when he gets 30 goals for United, you pay 5 million. If you finish in the top 4 for 2 years in a row, you pay 5 million. Those sort of things instead of winning the Ballon d'Or. I think United have been caught out for silly clauses before. I'm sure they had a Ballon d'Or. I mean, I'm joking here, but I think when we bought Phil Jones from Blackburn, it was like we'll pay you 5 million if Phil Jones wins the Ballon d'Or. But no, I think we have been mentioned before with silly clauses. Mark, ready to burst out that England jacket like an Italian Superman tonight, says Joshua Bowwater. Thoughts on United being firm on their valuation of Sancho? Surely affects other transfer plans if they pay an extra 10 million. Keep up the great work, says Kieran Byrne. You can't be firm with I wonder where I'm going there. You can't be firm with Dortmund. They ain't never. Even Viagra ain't going to get you firm with Dortmund. It's just not going to work. You cannot be firm with Dortmund because they are the Don in this. That there's very few clubs that can go into Dortmund and say this is how it's going to be, and we certainly can't do that. I would rather spend 80 million on Ndidi. I think he would make a much bigger impact than Sancho. Give Abed and Greenwood another season, then get a centre back. I mean, Thomas T, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, I've never seen it sort of translated as succinct and as blunt as that, but I think you're right. I would rather spend £80 million on Ndidi and go with Diallo and Greenwood than Sancho. I would. And yet, I want Sancho. So, I'm not saying Sancho's a bad player. I think he's a very good player. He's a very exciting player. But do you want to build a team, or do you just want to bring a very good player in to play on the right wing? I agree. I think what's going to happen with Diallo? Diallo might be better than Sancho. We might have a player that's better than Sancho. We're stacking up on the right wing and we still haven't got a midfielder. So I think if you want to build a team, I probably would spend it on Ndidi, yeah. But there's no point in his contemplating that really, other than saying, yeah, I probably would do that. The future is Sancho. We're going to get Sancho, and that's what Solskjaer wants. If Varane is unattainable, would Koundé be top target, says Azak. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know that, Azak. I don't know who the centre-back target is after Varane. But interestingly, I can talk to you about that. We'll come back to that Sancho bit in a minute, because I know we're going to be... The evening show over the Euros is going to be different. It's either going to be 6:30 or 7 o'clock, because you've got games at 5 o'clock and games at 8 o'clock. And we will probably be more around 7 o'clock for our evening show because there's so many Euros games. And I like you, this isn't like it's a Monday night Premier League game between Burnley and Watford. This is the Euros. And I'll be watching a lot of the Euros as well. So we're going to be doing Euros watch-alongs on That's Football. I've dropped the link in the video description below the Manscaped one, 20% off. Or just type in That's Football. So Italy, Turkey's me tonight. Wales, Switzerland tomorrow. Jordan's Welsh, so he's doing one with me. So we're going to be doing a lot of watch-alongs on That's Football. So if you're ever stuck for watching Austria against North Macedonia and you think I'm a bit sad, watch it with That's Football so you've got a community with you. That's what we'll be doing there. But we will be moving most of the evening shows for the next few weeks to 7 o'clock. Morning show will stay the same. I'll come back on Sancho in a bit. Unrelated, mate, but are you running a fantasy league for Euros? No, Mark, I haven't bothered. Been such a busy week, like people know. I haven't bothered with that. Just going to Varane there, Foot Mercato, which is a French outlet, they're saying today that Varane is being chased by 3 clubs, and you can guess those 3 clubs. I think you can all guess those 3 clubs. Those 3 clubs are, of course, Manchester United, PSG and Chelsea, which we've been saying on this channel for a while. And no, we're not saying that because we've got any inside information. I think that it's I think it just it makes sense in that sense that it would be those the 3 clubs, and I think that is why it makes it very, very difficult to understand what's going on, and I think that. Yeah, I think that Varane to United is a very, very difficult one, to be honest with you. There's a bit of a breaking story here. I mean, I find Duncan Castles a bit of an arse. I've let it come out there. I do. I think he's so anti-United. And look, I'm not going to start believing his stories just because I listened to him throughout the season. He's a very, very bitter person towards Manchester United because basically he loves Jose Mourinho, and some of the negative stuff he comes out about our players and our performances during the season, I just think are a little bit bitter. He reminds me of the Jose Mourinho of the journalist world. But basically, I'm not going to ignore what he said because he can be right, and I respect that. In relation to transfers, I'm not saying he's terrible, but he is bitter about Manchester United, in my opinion. And what he's coming out with is that Anthony Martial has been offered to Real Madrid as Manchester United work on signing an elite forward. Now, I can't see Madrid taking up that offer personally, and that's what Mac the Knife's just said on Twitter, to be honest with you. But you know what? In fairness, the interesting thing here is that Verratti's not starting for Italy. I don't know why that's not happening. But the interesting thing here is if you watch the show this morning, it fits in perfectly with what I said this morning. What did I say on the show this morning? I was having a chat with someone last night that definitely wasn't Duncan Castles, who said to me if Solskjaer could get Sancho and Kane, he wouldn't bother with a centre-back and a centre defensive midfielder. He would love to bring in a top-class striker. That's his priority. He just doesn't think he can get one. And whether we agree with that or not, that's what Solskjaer wants to do. Well, whether Duncan Castles is wrong or not, he's basically saying that. He's saying United have offered Martial to Real Madrid, which I'm not sure that's true, because they want an elite striker. And wherever he's getting that information from, and he does get good information, Duncan is right. He is right. That part of the sentence is right. Solskjaer is looking for an elite striker. And he is. I was told that last night. I didn't like what I heard, but he is. And there's somebody else saying it there. He is looking for an elite striker. So you can talk about Ndidi, and I agree with you. You can talk about centre-backs, but I'm telling you now, if Ollie had 150 million and Harry Kane was saying yes and Spurs were saying yes, he wouldn't bother with Sancho, he wouldn't bother with a centre-back, he wouldn't bother with a CDM, he'd buy Harry Kane. He wants a striker above anything else. Levin says, you are the best, Mark. We love you, and thanks for all you do, my friend. Hard work, but stay strong because football's coming home. Yeah, at least England aren't going to disappoint us for a couple of weeks. But yeah, look, Ollie wants a striker, and I think that verifies that. Would Real Madrid take Anthony Martial? No. What did I say about the swap deal? I mean, people are straight away going to go, oh, Varane for Martial, Varane for Martial, my kingdom for Varane. And, maybe that would be a good deal for United, but that's not going to be the deal. I always felt that Martial's probably more of a Sevilla, maybe Sevilla. For Koundé, that might be a good deal, but they're never going to be able to afford his wages. He's on 250k a week. So anybody who says, let's swap Koundé for Martial, yeah, as assets it works, but their wages, Sevilla can't play it. So, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, I'm afraid. But I would be very sad if we've seen the last of Anthony Martial. I absolutely agree that people are, not happy with his performance last season. And if Martial himself wants to go, I can't moan about that. But I like him. I like him, and I would like to see him do well at United. But we'll see what happens with that. So that's just coming out breaking when we were live. That apparently United are looking for an elite striker, which is a little bit slow because we said that this morning. But the Martial to Madrid thing, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Mark, have a look at Locatelli for Italy tonight. I think he's exactly what we need at CDM. I'm telling you now, Chris. Watch the watch along with me. Italy versus Turkey. That's football. 8 o'clock kickoff. Links in the video description, or you can go through the search engine. I'm very excited. I have my real surname is Italian, as people know, and I've always loved Italy. I love the league. The World Cup is my favourite. Italia 90. I love Italians football. I've always loved Italy after England, so I hope they do well. I don't know what's happening with Verratti. I don't know whether he's injured again. He's always injured, but I'm really looking forward to that game. And I can't wait for the Euros, actually, because we're still going to be doing United Stand. There's still going to be a lot of news, and I'm going to talk about why in a minute. But it's great to have these watch-alongs. I'm looking forward to it. And what a start to the tournament as well. So many good games to start. I remember when a tournament normally starts and it's Japan against Brazil, or, not in the Euros, obviously, that wouldn't even work. But Italy against Turkey. I predicted both those teams to go to the semi-finals. So what a start. And Wales against Switzerland. Straight away, Wales can't have a bad start. So cracking start to the tournament. Very excited. Ollie's got to be judged based on the signings he makes, says Mario. If he prioritises a striker, he's officially not the man, assuming he's being backed, says Mario. I saw that McTominay is only on 20k a week. Don't you think he deserves a new contract? I do, Jack. And my condolences, stay strong. And his Flex United leaving the United Stand. Oh, and Allegri is set to complete his English course momentarily, so he can finally reject Arsenal. Daniel, I think all the answers to all your questions are already out there. Signing a striker makes no sense. Blow 150 million on a team overhaul rather than a player. It's a team job. Martial was bad, but our midfield was worse. Well, I've got a video coming out. I've not recorded it yet, but it's basically 5 transfers to win the title. That's the name of the video. And watch the video and you'll see what I would do. And you can do it very easily. I say very easily. It's a bloody mission impossible for United, but you can do it. I love Grealish, Freddie Lyon. I think he's a fantastic player. I also wanted to talk to you about CC Eckner, who is a journalist for the BBC. Good connections around Germany. He's come out and said that Manchester United have had a bid rejected for Kieran Trippier. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure on the Trippier stuff. I mean, all I've heard about Trippier is that, we are interested in him, and I think we are, and I think it's a very logical deal. And if you've been watching for the last few weeks, I've said countless times, if you want 2 names United will sign this summer, Trippier and Sancho. We'll buy more than 2, but they're the only 2 names I can give you. I don't know who the centre-back is, but Trippier and Sancho, I'm convinced we'll get them. Not convinced we put a bid in for Trippier yet. I'm not convinced United have. Because if that's true, we've bid for Sancho and Trippier and both have been rejected, and yet we've got no. It just sounds a little bit too convenient to me that we're bidding for players, yet we're not getting them. But from a media point of view, it's a good perception for United. Well, we're bidding for players, we're getting close. When actually, I don't think we've bid for Sancho and bid for Trippier and they've both been rejected. That doesn't sound like United to me. I don't think United would bid and get rejected twice. We don't know. We have bid and been rejected before, but that would be a weird strategy. And if it was true, what the hell are we doing? We must be putting in stupid offers. I think we'll get both players, but I'm not convinced we put a bid in for Trippier yet. Considering Trippier, I think Trippier is available for 15 million. I know people are talking about 40 million euros, which is about 30 million quid. But remember, there is this whole. I was reading something today, and I don't know how true it is, that Trippier is classed as an overseas player. And I don't know how that works in La Liga, but he's classed as an overseas player, potentially because of the UK coming out of Brexit. So he's not classed as a European player, which has an impact on Atletico Madrid's squad, potentially. So, that might be a factor, but I do think that will happen. I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but I would love to get involved with the channel. I am studying journalist and use a wheelchair. I feel I could offer good points on shows and forums. Daniel, I'll tell you what, especially for you, I mean, you've done a super chat anyway, but especially for you, I'm going to give you a little bit of information here. And, you can take that information and you can... anybody else can take it. We did this about 6 months ago, and we ended up getting Jordan and Beth from doing this. Actually, it's longer than 6 months, isn't it? So basically, if you want to get involved with the United Stand, it's a bit like trials. Football clubs are doing them at the moment. My daughter's actually having a trial tonight with a team. It doesn't mean you'll get on the channel, but what it is it's an opportunity for people to put their names forward. You're going to have to be good, obviously, he says. But basically, the email address is that'sfootballmedia@gmail.com. Just record yourself for 3 minutes talking about something to do with transfers or whatever you're passionate about United. Send it into that email address and we'll have a look. What I would say is, if you're doing it off your phone with crap internet and crap lighting, you're probably not going to get through no matter how good you are, because you've got to be able to set yourself up in a situation where you can film regularly and you know what you're doing. To a certain extent, we can help you with that, but ultimately, we are looking for people to get involved, and we always are. So that's footballmedia@gmail.com. Send us a couple of minutes in. We'll take a look. Thank you very much for reminding me about that. We will give it a bigger push at some point, but you can be the first. Whoever's watching tonight, you've sort of like got the heads up. Johnny No Name is the centre back United will get, says Mark La Rochelle. Apparently he's fantastic, a Ballon d'Or potential player. Yeah, he's left-footed. If Ollie gets Sancho and a striker, I don't want anyone saying he hasn't been backed because he didn't get a CDM and centre back. It's stupid after a forward. Thomas T, I agree. I know that rhymes, but I agree. If we spend big on a striker and a right winger, I won't give Ollie the excuse of he didn't get a CDM and a centre-back, because I think if you spend big on Sancho and you spend big on a striker, you could have spent that elsewhere. For me, it's about how much he gets to spend. It's not about who he gets, it's about how much he gets to spend. Because what I will do, if he spends 150 million quid and he doesn't get a midfielder, that's on Ollie, because you've had enough money to get a midfielder there. But let's see how much he gets first, considering United very rarely spend more than 60 million net. So let's not judge a window before it started. Let's see what happens. And, I'm hoping we're going to get a midfielder. There's been a few rumours, nowhere near as much as the Sancho, the Trippier or the centre-back. But who knows? Who knows? It could happen. Also, De Gea. ESPN are saying that with David De Gea, he still sees his future at Manchester United. He expects talks after the Euros, but Ollie has not indicated to him yet that he wants to sell him. Now, to me, that sounds positive because I want De Gea to stay. But are we burying our heads in the sand a little bit here? I've heard that David Moyes wants Lingard. Obviously, Lingard's not part of the Euros, so maybe something can happen with Lingard's future very, very soon. I don't want to... You can't wait for Lingard and talk about it in the end of July. Like, there's so much that's going to happen in July. Get Jesse in June, have a chat with him. What does he want to do? Let's get it rolling. But the goalkeeper situation, if David De Gea hasn't been told he's up for sale, and he's not going to be told until July. I mean, what I fear about the goalkeeping situation is that we might have a situation where David De Gea and Dean Henderson are still our goalkeepers next year. 140k to Dean Henderson, 350k to David De Gea, two fantastic goalkeepers. Your reserve goalkeeper should be Tom Heaton. Look at some of the reserve goalkeepers in the Premier League. You've got people like Joe Hart. These goalkeepers are not Premier League standard goalkeepers. And we're going to have a reserve goalkeeper who could be one of the best goalkeepers in the league. We've got to let one go. And maybe this story about De Gea is a little bit of a hint that indecisiveness is impacting on our transfer window. Because if De Gea's not been told he's up for sale and Henderson's not been told he's up for sale, one of them has got to go. That one of them is worth 40 million, which is a lot of money. That, if you think about it, I know CDMs that are available for 40 million. So wherever your loyalties lie, De Gea or Henderson, we're basically going to keep what could be a CDM, we're going to have sat on our bench all season as a goalkeeper. Come on, let's get moving on that. I think Ollie's tactics are to have fullbacks very high and the pivot staying back, kind of like a 2-4-4 or a 2-2-6. That's why CDM is not a priority in my opinion. Pogba ain't ever playing in the pivots, as Arito. Well, I disagree with you, Arito. If you want to play that, Torsen, I can think of 6 CDMs good enough for United that you get for 40 million. Basuma being one. So I can easily. But we could play Henderson as DM. But no, I disagree with you on that previous point about midfield not being important. Midfield is important in any football side. I mean, the clue is in the name, midfield. You're smack in the middle of everything. You're the core. You're the core of the team. You're Bagel FC without one. You've got to have a midfield. If you haven't got a midfield, you're not going to win titles. Name me a team that's won a title without a good midfield. I'm not saying the midfield's the best player on the pitch, but you've got to have a good one. You know, you think about Barcelona, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. All right, you've still got Messi in the team, but you've got to have a good midfield. Look at Chelsea. That was built on a very strong core. You've got to have a good midfield. So I don't think you can say Ollie doesn't care about the midfield. He's going to go and try and go down the wing. Well, give up the midfield. You can't give up the midfield. The club needs to figure out a plan for who they want to sell. If the players aren't in the Euros, they should do the deals now so they have time to focus on incoming transfers in July and August, says Vignesh. Yes. A couple of people asking about what the latest is on Sancho because they're late. Please smash a like on the video, by the way, and make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. The latest on Jadon Sancho, and this is coming from The Athletic. Most of it, I think, is from Laurie Whitwell, who's the Manchester United correspondent. He's saying there's less than 10 million between United and Dortmund. The issue is bonuses and clauses, and Dortmund want those clauses to be realistic. So, you know, where Dortmund want it to be if he scores 30 goals, you get 5 million. United want it to be Santa Claus or Ballon d'Or clause. So that's an issue. Sancho himself is being respectful to Dortmund, but making it clear that he wants this move, effectively pushing for it in a respectful way. And realistically, this deal is now coming down to United's speed to do the deal. In which case, I've got to say, I've read quite a lot of things today. I've not spoken to anybody today. I'm just not in that frame of mind, but about football transfers. But from what I've read today, again, quite a few differing opinions across the different reports. Some saying it's not imminent. Some saying it could happen next week. Some saying it should happen by the end of the Euros. How long's a piece of string? You know, yesterday people were saying it's close, and what did I say? What's the definition of close? I think the definition of close is it will happen, but we've got no idea when. It's a bit like the definition of what centre-back we're going to buy. We will get a centre-back, but nobody knows who. And I think the Sancho deal's a little bit the same. It will happen, we just don't know when. So, you know, I heard somebody saying next week. I've heard somebody saying after the Euros. I don't know. Do you know? Maybe they'll do it and keep it quiet. Maybe they'll do it pending a medical. Maybe they won't do it until the new kit's out. I mean, I'm not going to sit on the fence. I think that's weak. I would say that this deal... I will say what I've always thought. This deal will happen with Sancho holding up a TeamViewer kit that you're all going to go out and buy. Glazers win. Not Glazers in. I'd never say that. Glazers win. That's the most logical thing. That's the thing I would do if I was the Glazers. That's the thing I would do if I was Manchester United. That's the thing I would demand if I was TeamViewer. Jadon Sancho, marquee signing, holding up the new kit. So I'm not going to move away from that. But I can say that there's a few people who think that that won't be the case. Yes, he'll hold up the shirt for the first time, but we will know he's going to be holding that shirt up. So we'll see what happens. They might do it tomorrow. No. I mean, look, I'm wearing an England top. The Euros are starting. I'm English. I'm telling you what, obviously I'd rather Sancho. Man United before England, 100%. But is it good for England that Sancho's United signing tomorrow? Is it good for the Euros? Is it good for United? United want maximum exposure from Sancho. They can't do it on the first weekend of the Euros. If they're going to do it during the Euros, you do it on one of the days off. You don't do it on this. And I don't think Southgate will want it to happen either. Now, what involvement Sancho would actually have in that deal? Probably none. But he's still going to get people trying to get in contact with him. So I don't see it. I don't see it, to be honest with you. Hi, Mark. Haven't chatted in a while. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate your content and listening to your news every day. Have a wonderful weekend, says Evan. Thank you, Evan. Thank you very much for the chat there. Really appreciate it. Loving the streams lately, says Freddie. Thank you very much. I need them. And Shub says, as you said yesterday, today was the last day. I think Wednesday was the last day, to be honest, Shub, but I just wanted to give people a little bit of hope. Can't wait for the watch-alongs on your other channel. Some amazing content for us. Much appreciated, says Diego. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the start of the Euros tonight. Italy again. Come on, Italia. Italy against Turkey. I want Turkey to do well, though. I want to see a good game. I'm excited about this. I can't wait for Switzerland-Wales tomorrow because I normally would want Wales to do well, but because Jordan's Welsh, I just want to banter him a little bit. So I'm Team Zakaria. Actually, I'm looking forward to watching Zakaria. for Switzerland tomorrow, because I think he's another one. Mark Duncan Castle saying on Twitter that Martial has been offered to Real Madrid on a loan with option to buy. Thoughts? I'm not so sure about that. We've already spoken about that. I don't believe. I think Duncan Castle's a bit hit and miss. Sometimes he's bang on and sometimes he misses. I don't think he's right about Martial, but I think what he's talking about Ollie wanting an elite striker is true. I said that this morning. I think, as I said, I think if Ollie could get Kane, he would say, I don't need a centre-back, I don't need a CDM, just get me Kane. He wants a striker, he's obsessed with it. Haaland, ideally. Buy Victor a new headband. The amount of times he combs his hair on field is amazing, says Ishan. And YouTubers versus TikTokers watch along, says Seda. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I'm not even on TikTok. What is TikTok? I'm intrigued by this TikTok football world. You grab a phone, you upload some football opinion. I'm like, get on bloody YouTube, get on Twitter. No one's ever heard of you. But they're massive on TikTok. Apparently, I'm massive on TikTok, but I'm not even on it. I don't get it. You know, what do they call it? Boomer or Zoomer? Bless up, Mark. Always top content, nothing but respect. Well, look, I'd love to continue talking. I think we're in the mood. I think we're in the groove of a good chat here. But let's take it over to That's Football. The link's in the video description. I'm going to be live there in a few minutes' time for Italy against Turkey. So join me for that. Very excited about it. I'm just going to get myself another beer, and we'll be live at 7:30. The live chat's already open on there. Just type in Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, or go through the link in the video description and you'll see that. Bless up, Mark. Always top content, nothing but respect. Big up, John. Thanks everyone over the last day as well. You know, there's been numerous things going on, but your support and everything has been fantastic. You know, you're always going to get the detractors who talk out their absolute arse, but the reality is, you know, this community's been going on a lot longer than some of these people have been involved in this genre, and you know, it's a strong community. We will see a pic of Phil Jones holding up a United shirt before we see one of Sancho holding up the shirt, and I can just clarify, I'm not talking about flex there at all. Roy Keane, Man United will never win title with McFred. He's spot on. I agree with him on that one. And remember as well, 20% off Manscaped. Links in the video description. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger, and trim the nose to make your nose not look like a forest. Links in the video description for that. Really good quality products, and you can get 20% off through the link in the video description. I'll see you over on That's Football for the watch-alongs. They kick off tonight. I think we've got every match this weekend as a watch-along as well. If you're going for a hardcore Euros weekend, then we've got every match on there as well. We've still got United Stand tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, same thing, but it'll be 7 o'clock on the evening. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you over there in a few minutes' time.